Hey, 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 it is coffee time. Coffee time Sunday. Good morning, everybody. It is Sunday, February 11th, 2018. Welcome to all of you. We do have a fireplace going again this morning. It's a little chilly out, overcast, but it'll probably be a nice day today. Got a few things to talk about on coffee time this morning. I'm going to lead off with the subject of LGBTQ activism here. And lately on the chats, I mean, it's been a real blend of different people on the chats. Missy Jennings, good morning to you. So happy to have you here again, sitting in. It's been such a blend of people and diversity and cultures and backgrounds, geographical locations, sexual identities here on the chats. It's been kind of amazing in a way. And one of the things that I've heard as particularly pertains to the trans community is the number of people that have said to me in particular that you're really the first contact I've ever had. You know, this is the first time I've really associated with somebody that's trans through these chats and stuff. And it's been an eye-opening experience for me because I've learned things that I didn't know before. And I've been able to kind of check people out, check you out, and other people in the community, and make some reform my judgments. Doesn't always mean that it's your opinions of the LGBT changes, but it means that you're thinking about stuff. You know, you're working things over in your mind. Some of my friends within the community, Coop, who I count as a dear friend, they're very staunch in their advocacy. They're very stand up. Somebody mentions something on a chat, or somebody goes on a chat and bashes the community at large, bashes segments within the community. He really stands up for that. And he says, this is the way I believe that this is. This is wrong, and own your stuff when you do that. That's what I call the staunch advocacy for LGBTQ. Would you agree, Missy Jen? That's the immediate boom. I don't want to call it the gotcha, but I saw it and I'm calling you out. Okay, that's the first way that you can do, and that's not an uncommon way because people's natural reaction is to defend their turf and to not only defend themselves, but try to make a broader advocacy for the community. And to me, it's to be admired, but to me, it's not always the most effective way. It may be equally effective than what I'm going to tell you, which is I call the constructive engagement over time. The winning hearts and minds of people, which is a much more enduring way, I think, to bring change. I've talked for years, Missy Jen, about Jackie Robinson. Of course, Jackie Robinson was a black player that came up and through the minor leagues in the 1950s, 1940s, and 1950s. And he became the first black player in Major League Baseball playing for the Brooklyn Dodgers. It had to be quite a hard check, quite a gut check moment to figure I've got all these white guys and I'm the only black guy. How is life going to be for me? Now, Jackie Robinson could have become a staunch advocate and a protest at every point in time. Hey, when we're traveling to these different hotels, I can't stay at the same hotels as the white players. I have to have my own accommodation at a separate, at a traditionally blacks only or blacks hotel. It's tough. I got to take my meals. I've got to sit with the blacks, the colored, what they called the colored at that time. I can't sit with my teammates. It had to really be something to endure because, at the end of the day, we're all human beings, regardless of our sexual identity, our color. It had to be a tough thing for Jackie Robinson to go and endure that. But yet, despite all that, Jackie Robinson picked up a glove and went out and played baseball. And he became a Hall of Fame player, one of the greats of the game. And I tell you, he did with his quiet advocacy of just living his life, not whining, not complaining, not being out there putting protest signs in people's face, not going on the media, not writing stories, letters to the editor. This ain't right. Look at what happened to me in Milwaukee. Look at what happened to me here, there, Baltimore, Philadelphia. He went out and he played the game day in and day out. And his legacy grew because people saw it's a black man on the field. And as time went on, the people throwing stuff at him from the stands, screaming the N-word at him, reduced, till the time when it came to retire. He was universally loved by almost everybody in the game of baseball. Started at point A and ended up at the top of the mountain. And probably did more to positively affect the movement forward of black rights than anybody else in the history, certainly in the sports world. Quiet dignity, go about it, do your thing. Change hearts and minds by the way that you behave and you interact. The same thing applies for the LGBTQ community. At least the way I believe that advocacy should be done. And I'm a nobody. Like I said, I'm the worst possible example. If you want to see staunch advocacy for the LGBT community, and I think Missy Jen, you're probably a bit, we're not people to stand up. We're not people to call stuff out on the moment. We're people to sit there, let things go by, let people see those things that occur. And then we go on living our lives, moving forward, living what I call the lives of quiet advocacy. We're not out there disrespecting people. When people call us on our stuff for being trans, chicks with dicks, whatever, we still continue on. We're respectful. We're engaging. And when this whole Mike Anon situation began, and we had a merging of some enormous communities, the Tort, the Trolls at the Round Table, and the other anti-e-begging advocacies, we've seen ourselves over time moving from a position of initial dislike for the LGBT community to these days hardly being a factor within discussion. And I think that comes from people rubbing elbows on a daily basis with people like Coop, with people like me, with people like Missy Jen, Nicole G, Mallory Williams. People look at you and they say, wow, these people take some stiff shots on here on YouTube, but yet they're still standing. And they're still being as respectful as the day they came in. They still stand their ground, and they haven't backed away, and they haven't fled. And in my mind, true respect, not just because the law says I have to allow this thing. True respect from the heart that says, maybe these people aren't so bad. And I have seen within this community, people's opinions change. And some of the people initially that were saying some very terrible things in initial chats are now some of the finest people on my side chats within the YouTube realm. Does not mean that they approve the lifestyle. It does not mean that they advocate for the lifestyle, but it does mean that they start to respect people within the community. Because we're not out there pushing things in people's face and saying, hey, you got to like us because, well, the law says you got to like us and equality says that you have to like us. They like you or they don't dislike you on a much deeper level within their hearts and their minds, which is where true change over the long haul occurs, positive change that endures. This, I think, is Missy Jen's and my contribution when people say, well, they distance themselves from the LGBTQ community, only in as much as we believe there's a different way to advocate for that through living day to day, interacting with people, and no matter how hard the punches, still come up smiling, brush ourselves off, pick up our bat and our glove and our baseball and go out and play another day. Just a little bit of food for thought today. Let's get on to the subject of influenza now, Missy Jen. And about 2 weeks ago, we did a video where we talked about protecting yourself from influenza. And at that time, influenza was a growing concern. But from my place within the medical field of pushing paper around, I'm in a unique position to see a lot more. I see a lot more of the playing field in the medical world than a lot of people do, because I'm a clearinghouse for stuff comes in from a zillion different doctors and a lot of different specialties. And what I can tell you is this influenza is really serious, and anybody, even if you had a shot or not, it really doesn't offer you any protection. So I'm going to tell people again, if you're compromised in any way with lung function, with compromised immune systems, then you want to take extra precautions when you're out in public. You want to wash your hands frequently. You don't want to touch your face. And you want to minimize contact with other people. I don't care whether it's money that gets changed to you after a purchase or money exchanging. Opening doors and things, you've got to take steps. Carry some sanitary wipes with you. Wipe things down before you touch them. Don't touch your face. And wear a face mask. When Missy Jen travels on this trip, when we're in public places, she's going to be wearing her face mask. It's going to give her an extra level of protection. And it's something that you guys may want to consider.
And I also have a bottle of hand sanitizer that I always carry in my purse, in my handbag. And I do have sanitizing wipes with me. And every time I go to a store, I always wipe down the carts.
People are dying because of this. We've already had 4 deaths here in Santa Rosa because of influenza. So you better believe when we travel in the midst of winter, we got to be super extra cautious about what we're doing, and we plan to. It's one of the reasons that we plan to stay in hotels.
Which means I got to be really careful too. There's a lot of people touching things.
Yeah, we both be careful just by
doorknobs,
being careful. So take steps to protect yourself, because we haven't even wound up to really most traditional flu kind of peaks out in February, March, and sometimes even into April. So this is a highly virulent strain. It passes very easily, and you want to be very careful. And that is no joke. we're looking forward to our travels. We're going to have a video up today. We did some more work on prepping out the van, removing some stuff yesterday, adding some things. And I think that you'll find that interesting. We had our last big panel chat last night, probably till mid-March. Our hangouts and stuff will be small on the road, very short in nature. More pop-up. How you doing? We're doing good. More here, we get Wi-Fi or whatever. And once again, a lot of our road videos are just going to be direct upload stuff. They're not going to be edited vids. We'll bring content home to be edited, but it's not going to be all, the usual things because frankly, I don't have time to do that. And it's more important to get something up there and let people know what's going on. That's the important thing on this trip. We have a lot of ground to cover here. And our time is going to be very valuable. I can't impinge on Missy Jen's rest time by sitting up all hours trying to edit video and doing all that. So a lot of that will come home. Anyway, coffee time Sunday. Thanks to all of you who came on the chat last night. I thought it was a really great chat.
Yeah, it was a great chat.
Didn't have anybody get booted off the panel, which was really a plus. And I think only probably 2 people were booted out of the chat altogether over 8 full hours last night. So that's quite a testament to you guys and coming into the chat. So I want to thank you all for that. Wish you a great Sunday, the rest of your Sunday. And what makes you feel better inside is doing something nice for somebody else once in a while.
That's right. It's better to do something for somebody else than doing something for yourself.
Pay it forward in a real way. Have a great Sunday, everybody.
Mwah.